Strength zone. How many of you have heard this term, strength zone? Have you heard the term, you need to be in your strength zone? Well, if you haven't heard it, you're hearing it now. You must find your strength zone in business. What are you strong in? We're all strong in things and we're weak in things. We're not strong in everything and we're not weak in everything. We have to find our strength zone. As soon as you can find your strength zone in business, what are you good at? Are you good at building teams? Are you good at building websites? Are you better on the phone? Are you good at speaking from stage? Are you good with the traffic? Are you terrible with the traffic and maybe the traffic can be handled by a partner? What is your strength? Seek like no one else has seeked before to find your strength zone, because when you do, you can exploit your strength zone 10 times the multiple of trying to exploit your weak zone. What are we taught in school? You have a math mind, you're terrible in English, what should you work on? You have a math mind, but you're horrible at weakness, little Johnny. What should you practice more of? Wrong. Science, it's what they teach. We had a conversation last night about school, didn't we? We beat up schools pretty good. Same concept, right? Flip it. Studies have been done. Peak performance studies, the best in the world. They focus on their strengths, not on their weaknesses. But we're taught all our lives you must focus on your weakness. You have about a 10%, you have the ability to move on your weakness about 10%. You can get about a 10% bump if you really hone in on your weakness. RC, at this point in your life, do you think you could become a professional golfer? But you really would, let's say you really wanted to. But you're not strong at golf, and at this point, you're probably not going to pull it off. You got about a 5 or 10% chance to get better at golf, but you probably won't go pro. But if you knew what your strength zone was early on, you have about a 50% chance to get better in your strength zone. So the quicker you know what you're good at, the quicker you have the ability to compound those results and build around the rest, right? So in your strength zone, you need to know what they are first, so there's an awareness play. You might not know what you're strong in business right now. Some of you know exactly what you're strong in business right now, but you're probably not doing enough of it. Delegate your weaknesses. We talked a lot about team building. You must delegate your weakness. You will frustrate yourself day in and day out if you keep trying to play in your weakness. So, for example, in this audience, since we talk a lot about internet traffic and lead generation, and something we'll come back to later on today, if this traffic thing is keeping you awake at night and you just can't seem to crack the code with traffic, I still think you should get good at understanding it, but if you really won't do it, you need to delegate it and oversee it. See, what most people do is they delegate and then they look away and they just hope for the best. But what a complete entrepreneur does is he delegates and he oversees. This is CEO-like thinking. There's a difference between delegating and hoping, just kind of keep it over here and tell me if it's working out, and delegating and managing, right? Thirdly, you need to be a specialist, not a generalist. And when you find your strengths, you can start to specialize. And when you start to specialize, you start to go to expert status. And when you get to expert status, it equals a lot more money showing up in your life. And a lot of being a complete entrepreneur is finding out what you're good at so you can start to go down the path of becoming an expert in it, because experts, specialists are the highest paid people in the world. You don't see a heart surgeon doing shoulder surgery on a Tuesday, knee surgery on a Friday, and heart surgery on a Monday. You notice it doesn't work that way. They do one thing, and people fly in from all over the world to find the best heart surgeon in the world because that specialist is in his strength zone, and he is the best in the world at that one thing. You need to find your one thing, and you need to find your strength zone. Remember, I shared this with you yesterday. Don't become a wandering generality. Be a meaningful specific.